Hi friends, welcome to Pharma Mitra channel. Today we are discussing on the general pharmacology part, that is part 2, introductory part. Today also we are discussing the basic terms coming under the general pharmacology. As we already discussed in the previous section, the pharmacokinetics as well as the pharmacodynamics are very important. Pharmacokinetics means the ADME part. The intensity of the response is related to the concentration of the drug, and for the this is the schematic depiction of the pharmacokinetic process, that is the ADME process that is carrying out in our body. For that, if a drug is ingested, in the absorption part, the drug in dosage form should go into the solution form and reaches the plasma, and here in the distribution is the second step, or the storage or drug is carrying out here the absorption, that is the movement of drug from the site of administration to the site of action. For this absorption, the drug have to move from the site of administration to the site of action, that is to the small intestine, large intestine, etc. And in the second step, during the distribution, the drug showing a reversible chain, that is free drug to bound drug, and during this conversion it is converted into its metabolite form. And in case of third step, that is the biotransformation, the drug get converted into the blood. Here also the free drug, bound drug, reversible change is carrying out, and the metabolites may eliminate either through urine, bile, feces, sweat or saliva. Finally, the drug gets excreted through various excretory processes. First process that is carrying out in the body is the absorption of the drug. That is the process of movement from the site of administration to the biological membrane to the site of action, that is in short absorption, as we already said. But in case of intravenous or intra-arterial administration, here the drug is not absorbed, it is entered directly into the circulation. We are not going in depth into this subject because we already carry out the absorption class in the subject biopharmaceutics and pharmacokinetics. Just I am telling number of processes are carrying out for the transport of the drug, that is the passive diffusion, active transport, carrier transport mechanism is the filtration, is the and vesicular transport mechanism. The drug is absorbed in the body directly. Second process that is carrying out in the pharmacokinetics is the distribution of drug. Distribution means, that is, once a drug has gained the access to the bloodstream, it gets distributed to other tissue. That is, the extent of distribution means dividing and spreading of the drug to the tissue. Normally, the distribution depends upon the lipid solubility, ionization constant, extent of binding to plasma and tissue protein, and presence of tissue transporters. Here we have to discuss a term, that is apparent volume of distribution. That is, apparent volume of distribution means it is the ratio of the dose administered through IV to the plasma concentration of the drug. That is, the apparent volume of distribution is defined as the volume that would accommodate all the drug in the body if the concentration throughout was same as in plasma. Simply, it is a unit volume of plasma. In case of distribution of drug, there is selective distribution of drugs can be seen in certain tissues. That is, in case of the drug ephedrine, this ephedrine can selectively distribute to the part iris, that is in the eye. In case of tetracycline, it gets distributed to the calcium containing tissues, that is in the bones or teeth. That is in case of heavy metals or arsen, it gets distributed into the hair, nail, etc. Because in this distribution, there is chances of penetration into a particular tissues is there. In case of brain and CSF, there is a barrier, that is blood-brain barrier is there. In such cases, we have to consider the administration of drug that crossing the blood-brain barrier and administer the drug. Also, in case of placenta, there is a problem in passage of drug through the placenta. In such cases also, we want to consider if the drug passes to the maternal circulation or placenta and administer the drug. The selective distribution is also seen in case of digoxin drug. Digoxin will selectively distribute to the heart. After the distribution, the body has to pass over the biotransformation of the drug, or it is known as the metabolism of the drug. Biotransformation means the chemical alteration of the drug in the body, that are the changes that is taking place in the body. Here, if the metabolism or biotransformation is not taking, the body will not able to get rid of this lipolytic substances and they remain in the body as long lasting. Mostly the hydrophilic drugs, for example streptomycin etc., are little biotransformed or changed and largely excreted unchanged. The site of metabolism or primary site of metabolism in liver are the kidney, intestine, lungs and plasma. The biotransformation of drug is simply the molecular alteration of drug in a living body. This biotransformation is very important because only by biotransformation we can get rid of the body to overcome the persistent effect or remove the long acting effect. For example, in case of a 100 mg phenobarbital, it have a half-life of greater than 100 years. If it is not removed from the body and remain for this 100 years, but the drug metabolism is necessary. This is the basic concept or what is the need of biotransformation in the body. By the result of biotransformation, we can convert the active drug into an inactive drug. Example, morphine, when converted to morphine glucuronide, is an example for that. Inactive drug is converted to active form is the example. The levodopa, when converted into dopamine, it gets action. And active drug is converted to active metabolites. That is in case of morphine. That is heroin. Drug is converted to its morphine to produces the analgesic effect. And toxic drugs are converted to less toxic or non-toxic drug. That is morphine when converted to morphine glucuronide, that is less toxic or non-toxic drug. Non-toxic drug is converted to toxic drug, that is taking place in case of paroxetine. Basically, the biotransformation process is a vast subject we are discussing in the biopharmaceutics subject. The biotransformation reaction can be classified into phase 1 reaction as well as phase 2 reaction. And phase 1 reaction is the functionalization reaction. Here the metabolites are active or inactive. So it is known as functionalization reaction, that is phase 1. Second category is synthetic or conjugation or phase 2 reaction. Here, the endogenous radical is conjugated to the drug. Here, the metabolite is mostly inactive. Before moving into the elimination of the reaction, just I am telling what are the reaction that is taking place during the biotransformation reaction. The non-synthetic reactions includes the oxidation reaction is the hydrolysis reduction like that, and in the synthetic reaction it includes the glucuronide conjugation, acetylation, methylation, sulfation, glycine conjugation, glutathione conjugation, etc. This will detailedly explained in the biopharmaceutic chapter in the biopharmaceutic and pharmacokinetic subject in the chapter absorption. Next process that is taking place in the body is the elimination of the drug. Elimination includes all the processes that terminate the presence of drug in the body. For that, mainly the kidney is responsible for excreting all water soluble substances. Normally, the amount of drug or its metabolite present in urine is the sum of the process, that is glomerular filtration, tubular reabsorption and tubular secretion. The drugs are excreted from the body after being partly or wholly converted into its polar metabolites. The routes of excretion of drug can be classified into two types: major processes and minor processes. Kidney is the major renal excretion, that is renal excretion is the major route of excretion. Example in case of drug, furosemide, pethidine, etc. Second, hepatobiliary process. Example, the drug that is excreted through this hepatobiliary process is tetracycline, chloramphenicol, etc. Then by gastrointestinal excretion, antacid, barium sulfide, etc. By pulmonary route, inhalation anesthetic, alcohol, etc. Minor processes include in case of skin, sweat glands. Example, vitamin C, iron, glycofulvin. Saliva, through salival route, morphine and caffeine are excreted. Through breast, morphine, phenobarbital and the minor processes carrying out. Through the vagina, metronidazole is excreted. Through tear, rifampicin may excreted. Factors affecting elimination. First factor is disease condition. That is in case of heart, liver or kidney disease, this condition or disease condition lowers the perfusion to organs of elimination. So in such cases, we want to look after the dose of the particular dosage form. Either want to reduce or increase the dose of the particular dosage form, especially in case of kidney disease. Second factor is age. That is, on increasing age, there is chance of reduced glomerular filtration and liver metabolism. So, in age patient also, we want to monitor the dose of the particular dosage form before administering to the patient. Third factor is the obesity. That is, when the patient is obese, there is chance of slow elimination of the lipid soluble drug. So, while administering the lipid soluble drugs, we want to consider his weight, calculate the dose, and give the particular dose to the patient. Presence of other drug is also a factor affecting the elimination. For example, that is, the phenobarbital induces the liver oxidizing enzyme. So, consider this condition. Another example is cimetidine that inhibits the liver oxidizing enzyme. Next part in the absorption is the pharmacodynamics. As we already said, it is the effects of drug and mechanism of action that is carrying out in the body is pharmacodynamics. Here we want to consider various mechanism of drug action. That is the effects of drug. That is, the drug may produce various effects. That is, by the enzyme will produce enzyme inhibition. That is either competitive or non-competitive, and through the ion channel that may block the action. That is, ion blockers are there, and receptors also coming under this mechanism of drug action. The receptor we can discuss in the receptor as a chapter in the coming section, because there is we want to discuss the nature of receptors, theory, etc. Next, we are in short discussing the receptors. That is, receptors are the macromolecular structures with which the drug binds and form the drug receptor complex. Basically, the combination of receptors with the drug lead to the pharmacological or therapeutic action. Receptors are basically protein or lipoprotein in nature, and these receptors are situated on the cell membrane or within the cell, and these receptors bound mostly readily. Location of receptors. Based on that, we want to study the action. That is, on the cell membrane, the receptors are there in case of insulin, within the cytoplasm in case of the steroid receptor, within nucleus, that is in case of thyroid receptor. The common receptor and the subtypes are: first one, cholineceptor or cholinergic receptor, muscarinic receptor, nicotinic receptor, adrenoceptor or adrenergic. Before moving into the elimination of the reaction, other common receptor and the subtype is 5-hydroxytryptamine receptor, that is 5-HT1, HT2 and HT3, and opioid receptor. Among that, opioid receptor mu, kappa and delta is there, and GABA A receptor, GABA 1, GABA 2 is there, and prostaglandin receptor is also coming under. Can discuss the drug receptor terminologies, that is the terms dealing with the drug and receptors. First term, affinity. Affinity is the tendency of a drug to bind with the receptor. That means if a drug is showing affinity, that means the drug having a tendency to bind with the receptor. If the drug is not having the affinity, the drug shortly do not bind with the receptor. Efficacy means simply, as the word means, the effect produced by a drug, that is known as efficacy. Third term, potency. Potent means the power of a drug to produce the desired effect is called as potency. For example, if we are telling that drug is potent, that means if it is given in the low dose also, that may produce the effect. That is the power of the drug. So, in considering such potent drugs, we want to consider the dose of a particular drug. Next term, agonist. The agonists are the drugs having affinity as well as efficacy. That is, here the drug having the tendency to bind with the receptor, and it also produces the particular effect. That is, for those drugs having both affinity as well as efficacy, that may produce or increase effect is produced by the agonist. Example in case of salbutamol, which is a beta receptor agonist. Next term, antagonist. Here the drugs having the affinity but lacking efficacy are called as antagonists. That is, antagonists having the tendency to bind with the receptor but it do not produce the effect. So, it may result in antagonistic activity. The example for such an antagonistic activity showing drug is atropine, which is a muscarinic antagonist. Next term, posology, means the study deals with the dosage of drug. Next term, dose. Up to this, I repeatedly tell the word dose. Dose is the amount of drug or medicinal substance to be administered at one time is called a dose. Whereas dosage is the determination of the amount, frequency and number of dose for a patient is called as dosage. That is, while administering a particular dosage to a patient, we want to consider how much mg that I have to be given to that patient, how many times, that is the frequency, and number of dose for a patient is called as the dosage form. Next, therapeutic dose. It is the dose required to produce the optimal therapeutic effect. It is called as the therapeutic dose. Maximum dose means the largest dose of the drug that is safe for administration, as well as the maximum dose produce no toxic effect in the body. Minimum dose means the smallest dose of a drug that will be showing an effective concentration in the body. That is the minimum dose by which will produce an effective concentration. Next, we can go deep into the posology terms, that is lethal dose. That is, lethal means death. The dose that causes death of some experimental animal, such doses can be called as lethal dose. Toxic dose means dose that cause signs and symptoms of drug toxicity. Such dose can be explained as toxic dose. Pediatric drug dose. That is, based on the age or weight, we want to consider the drug dose to the pediatric patient, and this can be calculated by various equations. One such example is Young's rule. Here dose is calculated by the equation adult dose into age in years divided by age plus. Next term, booster dose. That is, an additional dose is needed to increase the protection of injection. The booster dose is given in some months or years after the initial immunization. That is, for example, booster dose can be explained by the vaccines. That is, after birth of a child or baby, we are giving the additional dose, that is in the at the time of birth, 3rd month, 5th month, etc. Such additional doses are administering to increase the protection against a particular disease condition. Such doses can be called as booster dose. Loading dose. It is the one or series of doses that may be given at the onset of therapy with the aim of achieving the target concentration rapidly. That is, this loading dose is done to achieve the target concentration at a high speed. For that, we are giving one or series of doses at the starting of therapy. Factors affecting elimination. First factor is disease condition. That is, in case of heart, liver or kidney disease, this condition or disease condition lowers the perfusion to organs of elimination. So in such cases, we want to look after the dose of the particular dosage form. Either want to reduce or increase the dose of the particular dosage form, especially in case of kidney disease. Second factor is age. That is, on increasing age, there is chance of reduced glomerular filtration and liver metabolism. So in age phase, next ED50, that is median effective constant dose. That is ED50. The dose at which 50% of individual exhibit the specified quantal effect or specified effect is ED50. Whereas TD means median toxic dose. E effective, whereas T means median toxic dose. Here, instead of effective dose, the dose required to produce a particular toxic effect in 50% of test animal is TD50. Then LD50 is the median lethal dose. In case of ED50 and TD50, it will produce a particular effect. Whereas in LD50, this dose will produce death. That is, LD50 means the dose required to produce death in 50% of experimental animals is called as D50. Next term, therapeutic index. This term is very important. It is the ratio between the median lethal dose, that is LD50, and the median effective dose, that is ED50. So, therapeutic index is equal to LD50 by ED50. In experimental animal, the therapeutic index is the ratio between the median toxic dose and the median effective dose. Half-life is the time by which the effect of a drug will become half, is called as the biological half-life of the drug. For example, a 4 mg of a drug is administered, the blood concentration becomes 2 mg, that is reduced to 50% after 10 minutes. So, plasma half-life in this case is 10 minutes. That is, what is the time by which the 4 mg initial dose reduced with half 2 mg? That time taken for reduced to half is 10 minutes. So, 10 minutes is the plasma half-life in this case. What is the importance of half-life? Half-life gives gross idea about the pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics of a drug. It also gives idea about the duration of action of a drug. It can guide the dosage schedule. That is, if the drug is having low half-life, we want to administer the drug frequently. If the drug is having high half-life, should be given once or twice daily. Next term, bioavailability. Bioavailability is the amount or percentage of active drug that is being absorbed from a given dosage form and made available to the site of action. As the word says, it is the availability of drug to the living body. It is the simply bioavailability. In terms, we can explain as what is the amount or percentage of the active drug that is absorbed from a particular dosage form and made available to the site of action. This can better explain with the help of an example. The bioavailability of paracetamol is 50%. It means that if the patient taking 500 mg of paracetamol, only 250 mg will reach the systemic circulation. So, we want to consider only 250 mg because here the bioavailability is considered as 50%. That is simply bioavailability means how much drug will be available to the site of action from the dosage form. That is bio. Before moving into the elimination of the reaction, just I am telling what are the reaction that is taking place during the biotransformation reaction. The non-synthetic reactions includes the oxidation reaction is the hydrolysis reduction like that, and in the synthetic reaction it includes the glucuronide conjugation, acetylation, methylation, sulfation, glycine conjugation, glutathione conjugation, etc. This will detailedly explained in the biopharmaceutic chapter in the biopharmaceutic and pharmacokinetic subject in the chapter absorption. Next process that is taking place in the body is the elimination of the drug. Elimination includes all the processes that terminate the process. The biotransformation of drug is simply the molecular alteration of drug in a living body. This biotransformation is very important because only by biotransformation we can get rid of the body to overcome the persistent effect or remove the long acting effect. For example, in case of a 100 milligram phenobarbital, it have a half-life of greater than 100 years. If it is not removed from the body and remain for this 100 years, but the drug metabolism is necessary. This is the basic concept of what is the need of bio. With this, we come to the end of the session. Please do subscribe Pharma Mitra. Thank you once again for watching. Thank you.